9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Friday, everybody in the WWT universe. This is your PR princess, your Thomas Elite, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me on this Friday edition of WWT Live. We have a lot happening this past week. Obviously, of course, we're getting ready for the weekend. If you live in the East Coast, please stay cool and drink a lot of water because there's a heat wave coming in for the next couple days. So please make sure to stay cool, stay hydrated, drink your water, everything else. Thankfully, I'm not alone in this, and I am very excited to have her back. You did see her do her watch along for NXT, and I did get a glimpse of it, and I'm happy that she's here with me on a Friday edition of WWT Live. Kesh is in the building, and happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Glad to be here. And I love the message of keep yourself cool because it's definitely hot.
It is going to be very, very hot. But how has your week been so far? Are you ready for the weekend? I think she froze on me. I think she froze.
The timing is terrible. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, I'm good. So, but how's your week been? How are you ready for the weekend?
Yes, my birthday is Sunday, so I'm excited for this weekend.
Nice. Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
And also, it's funny you said Sunday is your birthday. There is another birthday that we have today for Women's Wrestling Talk. And I am so excited to wish her a happy birthday. She is the cosmic killer of the Galacticum Galaxy, former TBS champion, former AEW Women's Champion, first ever women to graduate from Creative Pro Wrestling. I'm talking about Stat Daddy, Chris Statlander. It is her birthday today. We here at Women's Wrestling Talk want to wish Chris Statlander a very happy birthday. And also, Cash, I just want to give it to you. Do you have any fond memories of Chris Statlander? Because she's been at AEW pretty much from the beginning, since day one. Obviously, of course, she survived through the pandemic, but do you have any fond memories or moments that you have of Chris Statlander?
No, I just love her overall. I think in terms of like when you think of the bigger stars in the women's division in AEW, I feel like she's always someone I'm gonna name. I feel like she puts on stellar matches. I love her storylines. I love what's going on right now with her and Sheeta. I'm excited to see, where she's headed to next for sure. And happy birthday.
Yes, I'm very happy to see with Chris Statlander, and even with the fact too, because I know you have Toni Storm, you have Mercedes, but you cannot forget about Chris Statlander because she's been there from day one. She was there during the pandemic. She beat Jade Cargill for the TBS title, and she came back from injury, by the way, too. But she has put on a lot of stellar matches, and obviously the physique that she has. Because I look at her physique and the way she puts people, I'm just like, in the words of Toni Storm, what a woman she is in the ring. And that's a good thing because she will really kick your butt. And I had the chance to watch her when Deanna and Steve did their show in New Jersey. She has been killing it. So I'm very, very happy to see that. But shout out to Eric Isaac, shout out to our producer from the future, Dylan, and shout out to Boza as well. So that is TBD because, as Boza said in the comments, we don't know what happened with contracts because we don't know what's going to happen for next year, but we're going to enjoy Chris Statlander as long as she's here in AEW. I hope she does have a blood feud with Sheeta, but we do here at Women's Wrestling Talk want to wish Chris Statlander a very happy birthday because she deserves all of her flowers.
Of course.
And also another thing popped up before we came on, and we kind of have to talk about it. So if you saw Monday Night Raw, you saw the conclusion, what happened on Raw. Roman Reigns talked with Rey Mysterio, and apparently they wanted to chat, and everybody was questioning regarding if it was involved AAA. So we did find out on WWE socials there will be a tournament on who will face the OTC for the World's Heavyweight Championship match. Obviously, we do have the bracket set because the winner will face Roman Reigns on Raw in Mexico City. In the first round, it's going to be all on Raw. Penta will be taking on Laredo Kid this upcoming Monday on Raw. And AAA, we will have Psycho Clown take on La Parka. And then on the last two Raws later this month, Dragon Lee is going to take on Dr. Wagner. And Ray Phoenix will take on El Fiscal. All this is happening and more. And Cash, I just want to get your quick thoughts on this because, as I said, you saw the conclusion what happened on Monday Night Raw. Him, Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio talking with each other. And how do you feel about this tournament?
I like it. I love when they collaborate with the other brands. I feel like it's cool and it gives you a glimpse of, you know, something you might not watch because a lot of people might not watch AAA. So I think it's a good introduction, you know, if they're not familiar with people. I am shocked there is no El Grande Americano though.
I know. Well, El Grande has some business to take care of because Dirty Don portrayed him and he's
Mm-hmm.
siding with Omos. So El Grande has some, he's off to bigger and better things, El Grande. He
Mm-hmm.
has more important things to talk about because he wants
Mm-hmm.
that AAA world title held by Dirty Don. But I'm very excited. I always love it when AAA comes over or crossovers. It's not just like 1 week, but also obviously, of course, and yes, Boza, even though football is coming back, it is throughout the month of August because we are in preseason. Um,
Mm-hmm.
September is where the official season of football starts. But I mean, there is for preseason, but also, of course, trying to yeah, even Dylan said no way, because like I said, he has to deal with business with Dirty Dom. Dirty
Wait.
Dominic.
Who's your early prediction to win?
I'm picking Penta. I
That's
feel
mine
like
too.
with Penta, because with the fact too, he did lose the Intercontinental to Chad Gable. I want him
Mm-hmm.
slowly getting into the main title picture. I don't want him to win it right away, but just getting into that title picture
Yeah.
because that guy is a star, especially with
Right.
his entrance and the presence and the charisma that he has. I do see him being as a future champion.
No, I agree. That's my pick as well. It's gonna be a fun tournament though.
Yeah, and it's always nice to see stuff people from AAA come in. Obviously, we've seen that from SmackDown in the last couple weeks, but I always love it. It's always nice. It's just like I'm happy it's not just 1 week. I'm happy
Mm-hmm.
at least it's continuing, and also we do have some AAA stuff happening tomorrow because we're gonna hear from Dirty Dom after betraying El Grande. So if you do not want to miss that, because it is on YouTube, by the way. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, of course, hopefully Boss Lady and Christina, because they've been handling watch alongs for AAA. So hopefully there's a possibility we may get a watch on tomorrow, but we shall see with the tournament. And also, I know our producer from the future is itching to talk about SmackDown because that is happening
Mm-hmm.
at the top of the hour tonight. 8 p.m. on USA Network. We are going to have a Honey Night SmackDown, so you do not have to watch it alone, and you can watch it with Honey because she handles the blue brand that's happening tonight, and we're going to handle the fallout from SummerSlam. We now know Kevin Owens is back from SummerSlam, and he's the new #1 contender. And we'll see what's next with him. And maybe tonight, him and CM Punk will cross paths. And yes, it is coming to you from the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia. So you can expect a lot of interesting things happening tonight. And after that, we had the return of Randy Orton. Randy Orton screwed Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship match against CM Punk, and we're going to see what's next between them. I'm sure Cody's going to pretty much have something to say. I'm sure Randy's going to have something to say, and these two are going to go into blows, and I cannot wait to see that. And obviously, of course, the moment that's been so discussed all this week, we need to take away interim, and she's
Mm-hmm.
WWE Women's Championship because we're going to be talking about the status of Rhea a little bit later. Chelsea Green finally achieved the dream of impossible. We're going to hear from her tonight, and also very curious on who is going to be the person to step up to the plate to challenge Miss Chelsea Green, and she will pledge allegiance to her fans and a celebration tonight on SmackDown. And also, this match has been brewing. We've been asking for the last couple for over a year or a year and a half. Charlotte Flair is taking on Jade Cargill one on one. These two ladies have a lot of bad blood with each other, and you could expect it a lot of be gruesome. It's going to be messy. You could expect a lot of shenanigans from outside the ring, but all this and more is happening tonight at the top of the hour tonight, 8 p.m. on USA Network. And Cash, is there a match or a segment or anything in particular that you are excited for SmackDown tonight?
Everything. Like for one of the first times, I feel like this is a really stacked SmackDown, honestly. A big thing I'm excited for, I will say, I want to see what Sami Zayn has to say or what he does in terms of Kevin, because I thought it was kind of messy. You know, Kevin Owens pinned Sami Zayn, and he's just like, okay, someone else came back and took an opportunity from me. So I am curious how that's going to play out as well. What about you though?
This is actually an interesting card. I want to see what Kevin Owens has to say since he's back. And like you said, I want Sami Zayn to go heel. I need him to go crazy. I
Yes.
need to go heel. I need him to confront CM Punk, because what CM Punk said to him a year or two ago, saying he's not on my level. I need Sami Zayn to really unleash it a little bit. I want him to
Yep.
like really go in lashing out. I really wanted him to do that. That's what I need to do to take it to the next level. And hopefully he could be world champion. Obviously, of course, I'm excited. Finally, we're going to get Charlotte and Jade meeting
Mhm.
on SmackDown, which, we could have got at SummerSlam, but it is what
Yep.
it is. I'm excited to see what Chelsea has to say. I hope they do utilize her wrestling, because we know on WWT she can wrestle. She
Mhm.
wrestled in TNA, she wrestled in Lucha Underground, she wrestled in the independent scene. We know she could go. I
Mhm.
just hope, I don't know if WWE or TKO is going to let her break loose a little bit, but I would like to
Yeah.
see some aggression from her since she is women's champion. But all this and more is happening on SmackDown tonight, and you can watch it with Honey, because she's going to be handling SmackDown, because you don't have to watch SmackDown alone. You get to see her reactions to everything that's going to happen. And I think she's going to be very, very excited for SmackDown tonight. And also, as I mentioned, before we get in the story with Chelsea, we do have to talk about, because we mentioned interim champion, and we may have to call it Chelsea Green women's champion, because Rhea Ripley posted on her socials that she just had surgery. Pretty much, she shared an update on her socials that after just 14 years in wrestling and doing sports my entire life, it's caught up to me. Surgery was never a first option for me, but it got to the point that it was needed. First one down, hopefully no more. I've survived, and now it's time to start thriving again so I can get back to what I love to do. See you all down the road. And Cash, I have a question for you, because this is going to be interesting, because Rhea did not relinquish the belt before she got injured. And now Chelsea, as people say, she's the interim champion, but we think she is the women's champion.
Mhm.
Do you think it's time that we do call Chelsea the real WWE women's champion, or do you think there's a lot more to it that we don't know?
In my eyes, she's just the champion. I never liked the term interim like from the get-go, because it's kind of like, okay, when Rhea's okay, she's kind of going to come back and just get her title in a way, like the way they kind of say it. And I think Chelsea's well deserved, and a lot of us have waited so long to see her get this opportunity. And I think she's going to make the most out of it, how she does with everything else. So I think a situation like this, especially Rhea, getting surgery now, you don't know what's gonna happen. So it's basically Chelsea champion to me. What about you?
I do think Chelsea should be the champion. I mean, the whole interim is just crazy. And this is something I think AEW does, because they do this a lot
Mhm.
lately. And also, shout out to Special Little Nobodies and Lewis in the chat. But it's just very interesting to see, because obviously, of course, Rhea did not relinquish the belt. They just let her keep it after she got injured. I just hope Chelsea's not in a uncomfortable situation. And I think back to when her husband won the US title, and he held it for less than a week or 48 hours. So I'm hoping that's not the same scenario, because I want Chelsea to have a really good reign. I don't want her to have any squash matches with Charlotte or even Jade. I don't want her to have any squash matches with Jade. I want her to be physical. I wanted to develop a lot of stories. I really think this is a good opportunity for her. And plus, I would love for her to interact with people that we have not seen go into the title picture. I would love to have her have an interaction with Julia. I would love for her to do something with Jordan Grace.
Mhm.
Um, Possibly, I would love her to do something with Blake Monroe, because Blake Monroe has been targeting Tiffany and Chelsea. Unfortunately, that's been posting on socials, but not on TV. So I think that's something with Chelsea as champion. There can be a lot of leverage because with Rhea, she was like the mega person, like who can be over Rhea or everything
Mhm.
else. But we do wish Rhea the best. It's going to be very interesting, but I want to see Chelsea be a fighting champion. I want to see her be a fighting champion. I want to see her be a workhorse champion and just continue that reign and probably give her a solid good reign, especially with good, memorable defenses.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think there's a possibility a Blake Monroe crashes Chelsea celebration today? Maybe.
That's the only possible way because some ladies can't afford to lose. Lash can't afford to lose.
Mhm.
Nia can't afford to lose. Alexa's
Mhm.
injured because we don't know how long
Mhm.
she's going to be. Charlotte can't afford a loss. So, and we don't know where Jordan Grace is. So that's also interesting too. And I can say Blake Monroe because Blake Monroe's been attacking a lot of women in the SmackDown roster. But Bosa pointed out, like, she's been going after Tiffany, which I think is
Mhm.
really good for Blake because she can go after the US title, which is like a mid card title. And that puts a less pressure on her.
Mhm.
But I would not be shocked if she did crash in, and especially if Tiffany's by her side. That could be
Mhm.
very interesting to see. But I'm very excited to see Chelsea celebration. Hopefully I will hopefully we see chance of you deserve it because she does. And
Yeah.
hopefully we do get to see her husband, Matt Cardona, because we did see him celebrate with her, and I'm sure we're gonna see
Mhm.
him do it tonight. So
Mhm.
all this is happening on SmackDown. And yes, Lynette, Rhea Ripley had surgery today. She had surgery, just to let you know. She had to get surgery today. Pretty much, she couldn't let this go on any longer. So she did recently had surgery, and we here wish her a speedy recovery of the best. So we're hoping that she's 100% healthy, she's not injured, and that she's ready to go. And hopefully, she can have a good story with Chelsea when she comes back. And since we are talking about Chelsea, I actually picked up a really cool story from Complex because they actually posted an article about Chelsea after she won. And I thought it was really, really cool because, let's talk about Chelsea. We love talking about Chelsea here on WWT. Chelsea Green, she said in an interview on Complex, Chelsea Green said Triple H compared her organic rise to Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. She quoted on saying, "So I didn't until people started saying that to me after Unreal Season 1 came out." Chelsea said about the comparisons between her and Bryan Danielson's respective ascensions in WWE. "I would be so narcissistic to be comparing myself to somebody so incredible. But of course, once the world told me that, and actually Triple H pulled me aside and told me that, and he compared it to the likes of Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston, I was like, wow, what an amazing group to be put into. The fact that whatever comes my way is coming my way because the fans have literally strong armed creative and the company into giving me these things. I don't want to downplay my hard work, but at the end of the day, they have been steering the ship for the past couple months, and they steered it and docked it at SummerSlam in this ladder match, winning the title that's so incredible to me."
I love that for her. And I like I agree. I agree that she's can be in comparison to that wholeheartedly. Because I feel like you just see like her get so much support from the fans. And I also love you saw the clip with her dedicating the title to Michael Hayes, right?
Yes, I
um
did.
I feel like I feel like that episode of Unreal when Michael Hayes said what he said, I feel like that kind of had more people like rooting for her like way more because it's just like, wait, do you know who you're talking about? Like that's Chelsea Green. That's not who you're saying is just here for like for show. But I agree. I feel like the fans have really like rooted for Chelsea really hard. We waited so long for this moment. And like you've been saying too, like please drop the interim, like, just let her be champion. It's perfectly fine.
It's kind of crazy because even shout out to Jeffrey in the chat. It's kind of crazy because she's been having that support even before all this. Like when I
Mhm.
was in Atlantic City when they did the SmackDown taping, everyone was rooting for Chelsea.
Mhm.
Like even like when she was injured and when she
Mhm.
had her secret harvest, people were
Mhm.
rooting for Chelsea. which is really crazy on that. And I am so happy. And it's kind of crazy comparing it to the likes of Brian Danielson and Kofi Kingston. But there was another person I actually thought of, and this is when they did the impossible and the fans were getting behind. I kept thinking of Mick Foley because there was
Oh,
a
that's
little
a
bit
good
of
one.
comparison. Because if you remember when he won the title and all the fans were going nuts that he finally did it, and even the week after when he won, the fans just went bananas of it. So that made me think of it when I was thinking about that. I'm like, anytime I watch Mick Foley's win, it's like, oh my God, it brings me to tears just a little bit.
Oh, no, it was a big moment. I feel like too, it's one of, like, for me personally, going into SummerSlam, I secretly wanted Chelsea to win, but I feel like the way she's been booked, I just wasn't sure it would happen. So her winning, it was just like a really big, surprise too. It was like, oh my gosh, they finally did it. They pulled the trigger. Like, it's about time, which I love. I'm really excited for her. I think it's going to be fun.
They need to let her do press because she always says this many times
Yeah.
because she said she wants to do Dancing with the Stars. She wants to do this, this, and this. And anytime she goes up to talent relations or whatever, they say no. And I'm like, let the girl like go out there and be champion. Like go out
And
there
she's
and let
a
her do press.
natural.
Yes. Like
Maybe
just
it'll
let her.
change.
I hope so because she's been she's been really killing it, and it's just crazy that they're not letting her do all these interesting things, especially with Dancing with the Stars. I'm like, she would have been perfect for that.
Yep. I would watch it if she was on there, honestly.
Oh
Like,
my
it'd be
god,
fun.
it would be so fun, and I'm just so happy for Chelsea Green. But we're gonna be talking more Chelsea later on, and we here at Women's Wrestling Talk love Chelsea, and we did talk about Rhea. We gotta talk about her husband because Fightful reported her husband Buddy Matthews is 100% cleared to compete. If you guys recalled what happened, he suffered a serious injury at Grand Slam Australia last year. Yeah, I think it was like last year or 2 years ago. He suffered a serious ankle injury and he begins the final stage of his comeback, getting medically cleared to compete again. Obviously, he posted this on social following the process behind the scenes from medical evaluations and rehabilitation to the moment he received the news every athlete wants to hear. It's a look at the physical and mental challenges of returning from an injury and what it takes to get back to doing what you love. Pretty much, he posted this all on socials. And Kesh, I wanted to get your thoughts on this because how do you feel about Buddy Matthews returning? And where do you see him? Because there's a lot of stuff happened in AEW since he first left his injury. So where do you think you see him land of the elite?
I literally was thinking about that as you were like talking. I was just trying to think of storylines I could see him in, and I don't know. There's literally 1,000 things happening right now, but I feel like that also makes it fun because it's just like you're gonna be watching, one day, and he's just gonna pop up. And at this rate, maybe he'll be in the Don Callis family. Who knows at this point? Honestly,
He does not need to be in the Don Callis family.
never know
No,
anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He does not need to be in the Don Callis family. There are a few people I do not think should not be in it. I'm
I know
sorry.
he's collecting them like Thanos, like the Infinity Stone.
I can't. I really, really can't.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I was actually thinking about this too because obviously, of course, he teamed up with Brody King,
Mm-hmm.
and Brody is with Brodino and Hangman because they're the new
Yep.
trios champions. So of course, we'll probably see interaction with him and Buddy, with Buddy Matthews and Brody King backstage because
Mm-hmm.
it just felt really interesting because there was no interaction after he got injured. So hopefully, we'll see that. I
Mm-hmm.
could see him being in the Casino men's gauntlet match at All In. I could see him
That would be
being one
good.
of those surprise participants, at least that kind of gets him in the fray and just gets him warmed
Mm-hmm.
up again, and possibly gets him in a good storyline. I would love to see him in the Casino Gauntlet, and I think Boza mentioned this. I wouldn't mind seeing him in the Continental Classic later on in the
Really
year.
good.
I would not. I would not be surprised, but those are some of the options, but I'm happy Buddy Matthews is
Mm-hmm.
clear to compete. I'm super excited. I'm very curious. He's going to do well. And Jeffrey's like, let him take the championship for Fletcher. I'm like, no, 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 no. I think they're trying to. I
No.
think they're trying to build up Speedball Mike Bailey into getting that from Kyle because they
Yeah,
did
I
have a
love
banger
her
of a
though.
match.
I would
Yeah.
be really upset if he lost to, I want everyone to succeed, but I want Kyle to stay champion for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think Kyle's gonna be champion for a little longer, but he's
Mm-hmm.
got some issues with Speedball because I think Speedball is still upset after that loss. So
Mm-hmm.
Speedball, I think Speedball is still upset after that loss. But I'm very happy to see where Buddy Matthews, like I said, he could be in the Casino Gauntlet at All In, which would be
Mm-hmm.
really cool, and then he could
Yeah.
set up with the program or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're talking about AEW, we're just gonna do a quick preview of Collision tomorrow. It is back live tomorrow in Colorado Springs, Colorado at 8 p.m. on TNT. Simulcast a match. We talked about this on Wednesday. The Continental Cup is happening tomorrow. John Moxley put out the challenge. He put out the challenge and wants to challenge the best of the best in AEW. He wants people to say if AEW's where the best wrestle, you got to show up. So we're having this tournament. We're having this Continental Cup tournament. We already announced the participants, and now we have the matches. My guy, Orange Cassidy, is going to be taking on Matt Sydal for the first time ever. And these guys are definitely going to go at it, and I could see a lot of bangers between these two. We're also going to have Claudio Castagnoli taking on Ace Austin. Obviously, of course, there's a lot of issues between the Bang Bang Gang and the Death Riders, but this will be settling one-on-one between Claudio and Ace Austin. And we're also going to have Eddie Kingston take on the Don Callis family's Jake Doyle. I'm very happy to see Eddie Kingston back on programming. I know he's been doing a lot with Ring of Honor, teaming up with Ortiz, but I'm very happy to see him back on TV. And also, we have not seen him interact with John Moxley since he's been back. So that's going to be very interesting to see. And also, we have some ladies in action. We have the new TBS champion, Maya World, teaming up with her tag team partner, Hyon, taking on the unlikely team of Persephone and Hikaru Shida. If you saw Dynamite, what happened on Wednesday, all four of these ladies have a lot of scores to settle with each other, but all this is happening tomorrow on Collision at the top of the hour at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT, simulcast on Max. And Kesh, is there a match or anything in particular that you're excited about Collision?
The women's tag match. I want to see how Persephone and Sheeta form together as the tag match, because I don't feel like that's gonna go how they might think it's gonna go.
Yeah, the ladies obviously, of course, are really going to kill it, and especially with the fact too, Persephone and Ashita, and then you got to watch it for Chris Statlander too, because Chris Statlander has issues with Hikaru Shida and Persephone as well, and I'm pretty sure Maya World will probably defend the TBS title at All In, possibly either triple threat match, fatal 4-way match. Has to be something. I think she's going to defend the title. It's just, who is she going to defend it against? That's the question. And I'm also excited to see the Continental Cup. I mean, I'm excited to see my guy, Orange Cassidy. I mean, he's going to be competing tomorrow against Matt Sydal for the first time ever. Very excited to see that. I'm looking at all the participants. Almost everybody has a beef with John Moxley. I just realized that. Almost everybody.
Racking them up.
It's like everybody. And yes, Jeffrey, you just pointed it out. Thunder Rosa also has a beef with Persephone as well, because Persephone wants her title that she won on CMLL. So you got to watch out for Miss Thunder too, because Thunder is somebody that I would not want to mess with. But all this is happening. Yep, all this is happening on Collision tomorrow at the top of the hour, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT, while simulcast on HBO Max. And we're just going to do a quick TNA recap because there was a lot that happened last night. Oh, so breaking news from Boza. SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis revealed on socials that Baron Corbin has to defend the United States Championship against Trick Williams.
Good. They put the title back.
Oh. No, Trick's got to go up. He's going for the world title. He's got to go for that main picture.
I know. You know what it is? I feel like there's so many people that are like, I feel like in like hierarchy of that. So I'm like, when would they get around to Trick? Kinda. I don't know though.
We shall see. Well, we shall see because, oh my. I mean, hey, Trick did not waste any time getting that rematch, but I'm very, very excited to see the rematch But also, it's good. I can tell you, these guys are gonna no joke, and plus, it'll bring a lot of prestige with the United States Championship. Obviously, of course, it'll put a lot of new contenders because obviously, of course, Ilya Dragunov is injured. I want to see Ricky Saints back. I don't know where he's been, but I'm
I'm so
hoping he's back on
surprised.
TV.
No, I agree because like I honestly thought at SummerSlam they were gonna do a Fatal 4-Way. I kind of thought they were gonna do Trick, Baron, and Carmelo and Ricky. So I was kind of shocked that they didn't go that angle. So maybe there'll be interference tonight and they'll get into that type of situation at Money in the Bank. Maybe.
Possibly. Hopefully we'll see that. But that is another match that we had. Trick Williams taking on Baron Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. SmackDown is going to be stacked. I know Honey is going to be enjoying the 2 hours
sure.
of SmackDown. So we're just going to do a quick recap of TNA because this happened last night. Obviously, yours truly did. She's doing exclusive coverage on the TNA Knockouts TV tournament. Just a quick update. Heather by Elegance advanced into the next round after beating Mara Sade. Obviously, we kind of know why. We know why because this was a taped episode last night. Obviously, of course, Heather by Elegance advanced. So now we know Indy Hartwell will be taking on M by Elegance, and Heather by Elegance will be taking on Jada Stone. So it's the final 4 ladies. And Kesh, do you have a pick on who you think is going to be TNA Knockouts TV champion?
I honestly don't know. I'm not super consistent with keeping up on it, honestly. But what are your picks though, or your pick?
I was gonna pick Indy Hartwell but at the same time, I wanted to be TNA Knockouts World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give it to Jada Stone because she's been making a lot of waves.
Mm-hmm.
She's been making a lot of waves, Jada Stone, and it's like when I see her in the ring, she is just like a fiery little spitfire.
Mm-hmm.
This girl can go, and I'm just like, man, she can really go. So I would love for Jada Stone to fully go all the way.
Are they gonna is it at the next pay-per-view that's when the final match is, or before that?
Well, we don't know. I'm hoping because
Gotcha.
next week, because I think next week is going to be Indy Hartwell taking on M by Elegance.
Okay.
And so hopefully, I mean, I don't see why not. They can't do it at Lockdown because that would be really good. But we are down to the final 4. I can't believe we're almost halfway there. Just a little quick one. We also had the TNA Knockouts World Championship match happening last night. We had NXT and Evolve's Wendy Chu take on the reigning defending champion Zaya Brookside. It was a hard-hitting match between both of these ladies. Congratulations to Zaya Brookside retaining. But she also had to deal with Elena Black because Elena Black has been on her tail and wants to be TNA Knockouts World Champion. And I have a feeling these ladies are going to have a match at Lockdown between Elena and Zaya Brookside. And I am here for it.
I need to watch this.
You need to. Oh my God. Like, I mean, even with everything, because I'm just trying to blow my mind with all these releases, they do put on some good matches.
Okay.
They do put on some good matches. It's just with this whole release and everything else and the news is happening, it's just hard to keep up.
Yeah.
And then also originally it was supposed to be Casey Navarro taking on the System's Brian Myers. But obviously, of course, there was a lot of shenanigans involved. So Eddie Edwards, he came in. And then we saw Fabian Eichner come in as well because they both had issues with the system. So Santino came out and they made it into a tag team match. So it was Casey Navarro and Fabian Eichner taking on Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. Obviously, of course, you had Eddie Edwards' wife, Elisa Edwards, because she was doing the dirty work. She had the kendo stick in her hand. And soon enough, the system got the victory. But of course, they're making a lot of terror waves within the half of the TNA roster. So, of course, Ricky Sosa came out because they've been targeting him for a while. But we shall see that's happening because I think it's going to pick up really quickly. And it's been interesting to include some of the younger and hungry, talented stars of TNA, which I really, really love to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to put this photo up just because we had Matt Hardy, Big Brother Matt Hardy, take on baby brother Ryan Nemeth. Obviously, of course, we had little brother Jeff and big brother Ryan, big brother Nick Nemeth at ringside. Obviously, of course, there was some shenanigans outside the ring, but of course, Jeff had to protect his big brother and attacked Nick Nemeth. Matt Hardy got the victory. Obviously, of course, there was a contract signing that happened later on between Nick Nemeth and Jeff Hardy for the TNA World title, which will happen next week. So that is going to be a good match. And obviously, of course, the main event is going to be for the TNA World Tag Team titles. The Hardys taking on the Nemeths at Lockdown. And Jeff Hardy choking that pipsqueak. Oh, Jeffrey, that is hilarious. But yeah, I just love that photo because I just had to post it just because.
It's a good picture.
It is a really good picture. I had to take a look at that. So whoever was the cameraman deserves pay. But that's just a quick rundown on what's going on with TNA. Because Cash, I know you said you don't follow TNA as much, but that's just something to.
I need to.
You should. You should. It's just with everything that's been happening with the releases and some of the head scratchers, they do have some good action. And I love that they're putting on young stars like Jason Hotch. He's the new TNA International Champion. We're seeing a lot from, as I mentioned, with Ricky Sosa, Leon Slater. We're seeing Fabian Eichner. Also, with the fact to Rich Swann, BDE, many people that we're seeing in TNA. So they do have a, they are rebuilding in a way, but they have a young, refresh roster. They just need to figure out. But
okay,
I'm ready for TNA. I don't want them to die. I do not want them to die. I do not want them to die. But that's just a quick
program.
Yes, that is one. But I do not want them to die, especially in the land of TNA. And well, we got some time to talk about this story. Oh yeah, by the way, too, Jeffrey, thank you for that. The hometown man beat AJ Francis, Mr. Bankrupt AJ Francis, with help from Elijah, by the way. So I wanted to do, but thank you for that. Yes, the hometown man picked up a victory. Roman Reigns. Oh boy. This has been a story that's been making a lot of airwaves this past week. And in the words of Cody Rhodes, can we talk about this? Pretty much. So Conrad Thompson, he is a podcaster, and he actually said this on Eric Bischoff's podcast, 82 or 83 weeks, one of them, or whatever. He pretty much said, I think Roman Reigns is probably the most overrated main eventer in WWE history. I know this isn't a wrestling term, it's a music term, but Roman Reigns is what music will call it an industry plan. I don't think if Roman Reigns disappears tomorrow, WWE's fortune changes at all. Now, a number of fans have responded to the post, and opinions on Thompson's comments are split. It's pretty much split in a way because obviously, of course, he has a very strong fan base, and a lot of people are very defending him. But then there are also some wrestling fans who are kind of realistic about a lot of things. So this has been a very interesting comments, especially with the fact with LA Knight interaction with Roman Reigns, that also caused a lot of things happening. But Cash, I want to get your quick thoughts on this. And how do you feel on this? Because I feel like this is something we could have said in 2015 and 2016 or 2017, but this feels like a little different. And we've heard the term overrated many times in the land of wrestling.
I feel like I understand why he would feel that way. I know a lot of people, I think in terms of like the bloodline, I know a lot of, you have 50-50, right? You have some people that are like really diehard Roman fans, diehard bloodline fans, and they're just like, give me more. Then you have the other side where we're kind of just like, okay, let's try something else or do this or do that. So I kind of get both sides in a way, but I also do think the IWC is the IWC kind of at the end of the day. So I feel like that's always going to be an obstacle in terms of getting them to kind of understand why you feel how you feel, or even like understanding your opinion at times. I get both sides though. You know, me as a wrestling fan, I do feel at times the bloodline can be a lot, you know, in terms of we're on all shows and kind of like Oba Femi, for example. I really want Oba to get a championship opportunity. I love Roman and Seth at SummerSlam, but we do have times I feel as though other people don't kind of get their time to shine or their moment because we're like doing bloodline things. So I feel like I can see both sides, kinda.
Now, I'm gonna have to go my PR side and also a wrestling side.
Okay.
So from my PR perspective, I understand because with the fact you need to sell tickets, you have to
Mhm.
make sure on that on how to position. Fortunately, WWE did that with the bloodline. I understand with the bloodline because obviously that was during the pandemic. It saved everything and had to put butts in seats. Understand Roman is a box office here, I wouldn't say hero, but he's a box office of its ticket
Yeah, for
that
sure.
many people would do, and with the fact as well. So I can't take anything his success, but from the wrestling fans' point of view, um, overrated is a very strong word because you very rarely ever use overrated on a lot of things. Because I
Mhm.
remember when John Cena was Super Cena. You know how many times people called him overrated?
Mhm.
You know how many times they called Hulk Hogan overrated?
Mhm.
And even with the fact too, when The Rock came back as Hollywood Rock, a lot of people called him overrated.
Mhm.
And Triple H, they called him overrated when he was champion. So I understand because obviously with that, but also at the same time, if you never had the chance to talk backstage or understand like the mechanics or the production of everything else, it's just one of those things. Like I'm not taking any success away from Roman, but at the same time, I always tell people with the bloodline, if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, he would not be the tribal chief because
Thank you.
Paul
Thank
Heyman
you
took him
so
out.
much.
Yes.
Because
If
I
it
literally
was
said that to someone before and they got mad at me. And I'm just like, you have to you have to take your bias and your love for him and look at what happened prior when we're like the big dog gimmick to where he is right now. Paul Heyman plays a big part of that. And I feel like people
yes,
don't give him like his just due. And I don't understand why they don't. He should be credited way more than he is for that.
he should. I always tell people if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, you would have not gotten the tribal chief. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm being very, very honest, because Paul Heyman, we know how Paul Heyman operates. We know how he works. We know how everything plays out.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jeffrey, Paul Heyman, stop it. Well, to an extent, but I think that's one of those things too, and also with the fact too, he does put butts in seats, and with that too, but also it did kind of hinder because I think said something about this. Um, a month or two back because I think when he held the title for that long, it kind of really hurted on developing new stars,
Yeah.
especially with WWE and TKO. Like you didn't have the chance to do any stars, and even with Triple H's comments, he said, Can you put over like? Can you go over Cody? Could you go over Roman? Could you go over Io?" I'm like, you do have some stars that can go over. You just have to position them in the way. And I
Yep.
said this on our watch on for SummerSlam. It's like secretly, I think they know that the stars that we mentioned, like Chelsea, LA Knight, I'm gonna throw Sammy in there when he has a heel turn, and
Mm-hmm.
even Kevin Owens, they can provide a lot more bigger coverage than your golden choices.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So that is something that I had to really think about myself a bit
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, Chelsea had an organic fan base. LA Knight had an organic fan base. I'll throw in Finn Balor had an
Yep.
organic fan base. So that kind of really did hinder a bit. And that's like nothing to take away his title reign, but it just kind of really hindered a bit. And also with Cody too, because Cody could have been in better stories. Because he
Mm-hmm.
could have done a segment with AJ Styles.
Yep.
He could have done further with Kevin. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping they do better when he does a program with Randy Orton again.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's always my thing. I didn't love when Triple H made those comments. I get it in terms of like business, him saying it, but it's also like you have control a little bit over that. You know, there are a lot of people, like you were saying, like a Chelsea Green, who are just naturally over. And LA Knight, perfect example, but it's like there's not really much being done with him how you could. So it's kind of like a weird thing to say when like you're kind of seeing it naturally like happening, from our
Yeah.
reactions. So I don't
It's
know. That's something like I get both sides. I get both
it
sides.
it's actually both sides, and that's something that's really telling too, and with the fact.
Mm-hmm.
And also Netflix. Netflix wants Roman in a way. Like that's what Netflix wants, TKO wants. Like WWE, obviously Cody's gonna be QB1. He's gonna be
Yeah.
QB1 for WWE, but obviously for TKO, they want Roman and they don't want to put the straps on any other stars who, by the way, and it's the same thing. And the question that got me was when Triple H said, "Are you going to put over EO?" But you haven't put EO into good storylines the last couple months.
Yep.
But that's also a thing too, and with the fact, and even like I know Roman has a strong fan base.
Yeah, heck yeah,
he does. But
crazy.
It's kind of crazy when people talk about the GOATs of wrestling, and I said I will not put him over Stone Cold Steve Austin because I will argue
so much common sense, and I
will fight somebody when it comes to Stone Cold Steve Austin because you know the thing about Austin and his merch is still number one. His merch is still popular.
No, it's true. I feel like I get people like who they like. But some of his fans, it feels very, I don't even want to say this word, but it feels very cult-like sometimes. Like his fan base, they get very like Roman or nothing. I literally have people tell me when he retires, they're not going to watch WWE anymore. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? That's crazy to me.
It's crazy because we still watch WWE after Austin retired, after Rock retired, after Cena retired. I mean, even after Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels retired, literally. Undertaker retired. Like, we're still here.
It's dangerous out there because I never realized a lot of people they kind of watch for him. I found that out, and I'm just like, okay, well, what about there was a big portion where his schedule that comes into play as well. So I'm like, so you're not watching those episodes on the days he's not there, and I feel like that's really crazy to me.
It's really crazy. Like even when I was live in Atlantic City, it was crazy because I've seen fans come to Boardwalk Hall, but not like this.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I was still gonna go to the show anyway if he was on the card or not because I want to support a lot of people. Especially, I didn't like the way they put out my guy LA Knight in the promo. I'm like, I don't know who does the promos, but you gotta give him some better shots at that.
I agree.
Like,
Jeffrey, you came to the light.
That's why I had to say. That's why I kind of had to say it in a way because I'm like, I will fight people if they said he's better than Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm like, no. I will fight people for that over Austin.
They do. A lot of people like on their Mount Rushmore, they rank him like top 3, number 1. It gets really weird.
It does. I mean, heck, I would say Chris Jericho is my GOAT, and Chris Jericho's been doing so much, not just in WWE, but all over the world, and people still call him an influential person. Like I will fight him over Chris Jericho if I have to.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I know Jeffrey, he's like, you ain't gonna watch because he retired.
There's a lot of people that feel that way. I was just kind of blown away. I don't know.
It's really crazy. It's just really crazy. And yes, but was it Chris Jericho came back as Lionheart, if you remember his early years of wrestling. He was the Lionheart. But that's crazy. But we're still here. We watch wrestling. That's why we love Women's Wrestling Talk, because we support all things women's wrestling. And also, before we get into our last story, we definitely have to talk about the Women's Wrestling Archive, because we support the past, the present, and the future of women's wrestling.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might think he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
anything for the Women's Wrestling Archive. $1, $2, $3, anything that you need for the Women's Wrestling Archive. And we do have one more story to get to, and I don't want to put a little damper because it's Friday, but we do have to shed light on good old JR, Jim Ross. We know he's been battling a lot of health issues lately. JR recently said on his podcast, Grilling JR, that he is set to have brain surgery this upcoming Wednesday in Norman, Oklahoma. He was speaking about this on his broadcast on update on the procedure, which will be placed a shut in his brain to drain fluid. He goes on to say, I got a big week coming up. My surgery is this Wednesday in Norman. I don't want to say I'm looking forward to it, but I guess I really am, to get to that point and get it over with. I have never had brain surgery before, so I'm getting a shunt put in my brain. Ross goes on to say that doctors told him his hospital stay would be shorter than he expected. That surprised me and made me happy, but still, I would have guessed longer. And then he explained the decision on last month's show, saying his problems began when he passed out at home and was hospitalized for almost 40 days, and that memory issues had made it impossible to live as he was. And his host told Ross everyone around him feels the fix has been found. We think you guys have finally cracked the code, and we're going to have good old JR back to normal this time in a week from now. And then he goes on to say, well, let's hope so. We'll see. We'll see. I hope so too, quite frankly. And then, of course, obviously, he addressed the passing of Dory Funk Jr., who passed away on Tuesday at the age of 85. But we here at Women's Wrestling Talk want to send well wishes to JR in his upcoming surgery. Thoughts? Any thoughts, Cash?
Oops, sorry. I feel bad for him. You know, I feel like he's constantly going through a lot. And I really wish him the best. Honestly, I hope he comes out, you know, even stronger, and I hope everything is successful for him. Thoughts and prayers definitely for Jr.
Yeah, definitely. I think JR definitely is going to need a lot of prayers. And JR has always been a fighter. He's always been that way. And I'm hoping he does have a speedy recovery and comes back stronger, because I believe next year is his final year of his AEW contract. So we shall see on that. So I know he's been battling a lot of health issues, but we do wish him the best in our recovery. And that pretty much wraps up our Friday edition of WWT Live. We had interesting conversations. We had some stories we had to share. But yeah, Jeffrey, kick that slobber knocker surgery. We had some very interesting stories to share. We got you ready for SmackDown and wrapped up TNA and talked about Collision. But Kesh, where can the people find you?
Wrestling with Keish on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Well, the people can always find me chirping sporadically as I can for WWT Live. Wednesdays, you know, I handle Timeless Elite Wednesdays because I have AEW Dynamite happening. We're pretty much on the road to All In Wembley Stadium. Unfortunately, I will not be there on site for AEW All In. I am saving for next year for London because I'm pretty sure I'll be back next year. But you will get a watch along. You will get a watch along for All In as well. So I'm very excited because the countdown is on. We're going to see if we can try to get some interviews in and just get you hyped up for AEW All In. Thursdays, obviously, you can hang with me for TNA because we're almost at the finish line for the TNA Knockouts TV tournament and on the road to Lockdown as well. And there will also be a watch along for TNA Lockdown as well. So you get to hang out with not just me, but you never know who's going to show up from the WWT panel. Feel free on that. Obviously, of course, you can always follow me. Excuse me. You can follow me on my socials at CourtneyNJ11 because I do have some content. And I've been putting this off for the last couple months. I am very excited to announce that I am actually on the top 3 candidates for the SSPW Women's Commissioner. I am up against 2 powerhouses in wrestling.
Got it. Congratulations.
Yes, I'm up against 2 powerhouses, but voting is up now. It's on their Facebook page. I am putting the link in the chat. So please make sure you vote like it's your dependence.
I'm going to take a picture so I remember.
Yes, please share this with everybody on Facebook because I'm very excited to be part of this journey. Yeah, they're looking for their commissioner for their women's division. So I'm up against two powerhouses, but I'm up for a challenge. I'm very excited on this journey. And even though if I do get it, I'm not leaving WWT. I'm not leaving. Make sure to follow ISPW Wrestling. I have to see the next time when I do commentating, but we do have a lot of good shows happening. If you are in the Wildwood area, they are doing another show in Wildwood on August 20th. That's a Thursday. Don't know. They did put out the card for August 20th. So if you missed it in July, definitely go out too. But also giving a shout out to everyone, the rest of our WWT Live co-hosts, because they have been killing it. Boss Lady's traveling. Honey's getting you ready for SmackDown. I know Seth is upset. He ain't coming because of what happened on Tuesday, but he's still part of the team. And also shout out to my other siblings, Dion, Will, and Honey for the Kayfabe podcast. So definitely want to do that. Also, shout out to everybody in the chat as well. Shout out to Jeffrey, Boza, our producer from the future, Dylan, Aaron Teagle, Lewis, all of you guys for supporting us. And we just celebrated our 1000th episode of WWT Live. So we're going to keep continuing the celebrations, but be on the lookout because there may be a watch along for AAA. Not sure on that, but we wanted to close it off. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. As I say, there's a heat wave coming in. Please make sure to drink lots of fluids, stay inside, only go out when you need to. And thank you all for supporting Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great weekend. Stay cool, and we'll see you on.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.